Well, hey, before we dive into this episode, you're going to want to grab a seat for a free training I'm hosting next Tuesday, the 27th of May. It's the Irresistible Offer Blueprint for Health, Wellness, and Life Coaches, where I'll be walking you through a proven path to create a signature offer that stands out, sells out, and most importantly, feels like you. I'll be covering the best way to create, market, launch, and sell a coaching offer in 2025 and how to avoid the common pitfalls that can keep coaches from seeing success. So head to the link in the show notes, save your seat, and I'll see you there. Having a signature offer in your coaching business makes everything, your marketing, your sales, your client delivery, so much more easeful and simple and structured. It's the foundation of a life first coaching business. And in today's episode, we're going to dig into how your coaching offer is the linchpin in your business and how it informs your strategy for everything else to make things more easeful, more sustainable, and more successful for you in your coaching business. So welcome to episode 3 of this signature offer series. Now, just to recap on what we've covered so far, in episode 1, we talked all about what a signature offer actually is. In episode 2, we talked about how the future promise, the transformation of your offer, how that's the most important aspect, and how it's different from the vehicle, the modalities, the methods, the way you're taking your client from A to B. So that's what we've covered so far. And today we're going to be talking about using your offer to inform your marketing and how it makes everything more easeful for you. So if we're thinking about social media, let's say, as part of your marketing strategy and showing up and sharing content on social media, when you don't have a signature offer that you've created in a very strategic way based on a future promise and a transformation that your ideal client is looking for, it can be very confusing. What do I actually show up and talk about? And where a lot of coaches get stuck is they're showing up and sharing helpful tips and valuable advice to help their ideal client and kind of show their ideal client that they know what they're talking about. But what that's not doing for you is it's not helping your ideal client to shift their mindset around seeing you as a solution. And I think we all know that the attention span on social media is so fleeting now. It's quite hard to actually capture people's attention for very long. When you do capture their attention, you really want to be using that to your advantage by, yes, giving them something valuable, giving them something eye-opening or relatable to capture their attention and give them value. But you then also want to be making sure that you're using that piece of content to position yourself as the solution. And sometimes this is just a matter of adding something extra to your content, a specific call to action and a specific part of your content which helps your ideal client see why you're the solution to their problem. So instead of just giving them valuable information, you are taking them on a strategic journey so that they see you as their ideal solution. Now, I call this the ACEs framework. It's a 4-step framework that your messaging works around so that you're making sure you're taking your ideal clients through that thought process to then be ready to buy from you. And the ACEs framework are attract, connect, enlighten, and sell. And when you've got an offer with a clear transformation, a results-focused offer, you can then craft that ACEs framework messaging around your offer. And in fact, I'll dig into this more in episode 4. But actually crafting the messaging before you create the offer is the best way to go about this, because when you've got complete clarity on the messaging and what that person needs to hear, then you can make sure you're creating an offer and the communication around that offer in a really clear, compelling, and potent, magnetic way. So the ACEs framework, first you want to be able to really clearly attract the right person by making sure that when you're initially talking to who they are and the problem they're experiencing, straight away they sit up and think, that's me, I'm that person. So that's the attract phase of your marketing. Then C, connect. The next thing you want to do is make an emotional connection with that ideal client. Either it's because you're sharing your own experience and you're showing how you empathize with them because you've been through it too. But really it's about talking to the way they're feeling about this problem and talking to their desires. So showing them that you understand where they are, what they're going through, and where they'd rather be, and the transformation that they're really hoping for and looking for. So making that emotional connection. Then E, this is when you start to enlighten them to the solution to their problem. It's when you're calling out the things that they've been trying before, the things that they've been falsely believing are true about solving their problem, or maybe they've been believing they can't solve it at all. And you're enlightening them to the better way. You're starting to educate them on why your method, your process that you've built into your offer, why this is the solution to their problem. So now they've gone through the process of sitting up and listening because they know you're talking to them, feeling an emotional connection with you because they understand that you understand them, that you empathize with them, that you have shared experiences and shared values. And now they're suddenly starting to see, oh, this is why I've been stuck. And she has the solution. She has the better way. She has the clear path for me to reach my goals, to reach my desired state. And then you move into S, which is sell. And that's where you're making the invitations. You're explaining your offer and you're making the invitations for them to either book a discovery call with you or sign up to your offer or book an initial consult as part of that wider offer. So it's a very clear 4-step thought process that you want to be thinking about to take your ideal clients through that journey in their minds to go from stranger to buyer. And when you're clear on this before you create all the details of your offer, that's when you can make sure that you've positioned it in a way that's really compelling and really helps you stand out. And it's what marketing is all about. So you need to be doing key market research to understand the language, the thoughts, what's going on in the minds of your ideal clients so that you can create that messaging in a way that's really, really potent and speaks to their hearts and their minds. Because often where we can slip up with this is we will make assumptions. We'll assume what our ideal clients are thinking. And often we're coming from a place where we're on the other side of the transformation, or we know things that our ideal clients don't know yet. And then we can project them onto our ideal clients and put them into our messaging. But our ideal clients are not at that place yet. So you really need to meet them where they're at. And that's why doing some key research and having some clear conversations with people who fit your ideal client is going to help you to create messaging that really stands out, and then craft an offer around that messaging, which is perfectly positioned to that person. So that's a key step that you want to be taking in the process to craft your core offer, your signature standout offer. So hopefully that helps you see where, rather than just showing up and sharing helpful content and maybe being a bit scattered in your strategy of what you're saying, that once you've got that core offer with a clear transformation that you're focused on, you can create a content strategy that follows those 4 steps of your messaging and make sure you're hitting those points across the week, or even in one post, you can be hitting those 4 points of attract, connect, enlighten, and sell, and making sure that you are always referring back to this transformation that you help your clients achieve. I'm sure you're aware of the fact that people have to hear about you multiple times before they're going to be ready to buy. So you really want to be repeating the same thing over and over again. And often coaches can trip up here and think that they need to be reinventing the wheel all the time and be creating this really exciting content where everything's different in every single post that they show up. And that's not the case at all. You really want to feel like you're repeating yourself over and over again by getting clear on that core message, choosing slightly different angles. Maybe in different pieces of content, you'll be focusing on a different belief or myth that your ideal client's been believing when you're focusing on that enlighten piece, or maybe a specific scenario in that connection piece. But essentially, those 4 ingredients don't change. And when you've got that core offer positioned as the solution to your ideal client's problem and the pathway to their desired state, you can get so clear on that messaging, and you can make sure everything in your content, everything in your marketing, everything in the way you introduce yourself to people at networking events all serves the purpose of that core outline of your messaging and positioning your offer as the perfect solution for your ideal client so that you can become known for it. It can become synonymous with your brand, and everyone is crystal clear on who you're for, what you're about, and who you help. So I hope that helps you see where your offer can become that foundation of your life first business when everything feeds back into it. And once you've got that offer in place and you've proven it, you've validated it, you know that people want it, you can then start to input all those other aspects of your marketing, like lead magnets and funnels, and all those kinds of things can help streamline your marketing and make it more passive and take away your time that you have to spend in your marketing. But don't rush into those things before you've got your offer dialed in and proven, because you're just going to be wasting your time. You want to make sure you've got that offer proven and validated, and you've done that in a really active and engaged way by having conversations with ideal clients and really doing that sort of active outreach before you try to offload some of that more active marketing work into more passive things like lead magnets and email funnels and things like that. So if you do it in a way where you validate that offer first, and then you move into that more audience growth, passive, scalable, streamlined marketing activities, if you need to, then that's a much better way of going about it than diving into those things first and just spinning your wheels because you haven't got that offer and that message dialed in. So we're going to be diving into this all in much more detail in section 4, where I'll be tying all the steps together for you. But for now, you want to go back again to that transformation that you might have pinpointed, to the vehicle that you've established is going to help your ideal clients achieve this transformation. And then start to think about where you might hit on those 4 stages in the messaging of who you're attracting, how you're making a connection with them, what they need to know about your solution, the pathway, how you're going to enlighten them and shift their mindset around seeing the solution to their problem, and then how you might invite them in. So trying to link those 4 pieces together in terms of your messaging. So I hope you found that illuminating and enlightening, and I will catch you in episode 4, where we'll be digging into the 4 steps to create a standout signature offer that sells in 2025. So I'll catch you there. Before you go, don't forget to head to the link in the show notes to grab your seat for the free training happening on Tuesday next week, the Irresistible Offer Blueprint for Health, Wellness and Life Coaches. Or you can head over to leonie.businesscoach on Instagram and send me a DM with the word offer for your link to join. And I'll see you there.